With Wisconsin Voices, I am your host, former state representative David Bowen, now executive director David Bowen at Wisconsin Voices. And we got a really good show, but there's so much happening locally that we wanted to keep highlighting some of the more powerful stories that are happening locally here. Hope all is well out there. Phone line 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. Feel free to give me some insight about your experience with the floods. We know a lot of local residents were affected by that. And I saw some really good stories locally online of everyone stepping up to clear sewer drains and water drains out in the community on the streets and stuff like that. So feel free to definitely call in so we can get your insight. We think that's a part of your civic duty, to look out for your neighborhood, look out for your neighbors. And in times like these, it's really important when it comes to disaster preparedness and things of that nature, because these things will happen, and we're the only ones that we can rely on. So please make sure that you are doing everything that you can in your capacity to look out for one of another. That is the true definition of community. We do have Brian Sanders in the studio.
What's going on, sir? Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
Excuse me about that, man. This little rush just ran from the office trying to make sure we have some good stuff to talk about. But
it's all good.
Happy Tuesday to everybody. Hope everybody is having a great start to the day. I know we had some crazy weather this morning. I woke up unexpected by a fire alarm going off in the building because the power went out. So then that happened like 2-3 more times. There's a bunch of power surges. So hopefully everybody in like the Brown Deer area that was out this morning, but also I seen a lot of out between like 60th this morning and like 43rd going back towards like really like Silver Spring. So hopefully everybody got their lights back on, and it looked like we had about 5,500 outages this morning in Milwaukee County, I think I've seen. So I know it was a little deeper in other spaces. So
yeah, we're seeing the ripple effects of this storm.
Yeah, big time.
That's what happens when sometimes a summer worth of rain falls within an hour or two, and that's a lot of water to be able to handle. And I was seeing a lot of posts online about just the sheer amount of water that folks had to deal with. Do you see those images of people leaving State Fair?
Man, you know what's crazy about that? I always got like this weird tradition of trying to go like that last day of like, I like to go play like the little gun games and do like one random spin ride, and then I was gonna get back. In a perfect world, I would have got back up here from being in Illinois and would have went straight to State Fair and spend that last 2-3 hours. But I seen people trotting through manure filled water that they couldn't really do nothing about, depending on where you was at. And I don't know how quick that water rushed in, but I'm sure a lot of people were like hanging out in certain spaces. And if you got caught in a certain spot of State Fair and you in that little what's that little midway section too?
Yeah, by the racetrack.
Yeah,
okay.
Over there. And then I was thinking about kind of going into the game section as well. I know they got that little area where water can sit too, right underneath the bridge, where a lot of people like to congregate going up that hill. So and that I'm sure that hill produced a lot of water. That was ugly.
Yeah.
That was ugly. Yeah. That was ugly. Go get you a shot. Go get you some go get your stuff checked out if you was up in that water, because there was a lot of bacteria floating on between the cow pit and the pig pit.
Oh, sure. So you got the dynamic of
everything.
All the dynamics of the farm animals.
You got corn dog, juices flowing. You got what they had, ostrich this year, and I seen them eating scorpion legs. Man, you got everything flowing in the trash out there. Oh, happy belated birthday to my guy right here too.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, I had my bad, birthday. Man. Absolutely.
Man, we need sound effects for that.
Yeah. Go ahead. You got something for it? Look. Go ahead.
You need sound effects. There you go.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Jermaine. We're going to come back to you and talk about your weekend. David, I know I kind of came in on the tail end of you talking about what's going on with the cleanup. Man, there's some people doing some things, some great things yesterday. Some people that we both know in the community. Yeah. I'm sure if you didn't shout them out yet, I would love to. First, I want to shout out Montreal Kane.
Yeah, I saw his video too.
Thing. Yeah, he just
big shouts out to
just being consistent with that. And I I don't want to mistake his last name is Aziz Abdullah. Did I say it right?
Aziz, yeah.
Aziz. Yeah, I want to shout out Aziz as well for doing his thing and just being consistent in the work out there and getting people, you know, activated to go help. I seen them doing some pumps, just pumping people's neighborhoods. So I just want to shout out to them two brothers and all the other brothers in the community that's doing their thing and just helping people and the sisters as well, because you know, everybody included, we all got to work together to
each one reach one.
Yeah, to clean up and clean out, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know. So
I think one of the things that I don't know if you taught this online, but it is a big conversation about how trash is affecting the drains, being able to get the water.
I was trying to avoid that.
I think we actually need to have that conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to avoid it out on the internet, but yeah, we could definitely have that conversation here.
We might as well have that conversation because it is a factor. There's no way to deny it, right? When you are trying to clear a drain and you not go, of course, you got some natural things. You got tree brush and leaves and technically the leaves should have got up before we got into the summer. You know, we still those are leaves that are left around from last fall. Sometimes you can't control
2-3 falls ago.
But when you're dealing with a significant amount of trash that are blocking our drains, now it's becoming a ripple effect from the trash too. So I saw some emotions, you know, where folks are like, you know, this has to be addressed when it comes to trash in our community. And I agree. We can't normalize folks leaving our own community in you know in trash. Like it just, we have to care about our community and what it looks like. And it doesn't help when people are throwing things out of their car when they, you know, don't see a garbage and they just throw it wherever. You know,
plastic.
Give a hoot, don't pollute. That's one of the
for real. No, I totally. I mean, I'm guilty of holding stuff in my car until I get to the gas station all the time because I mean, we too old to be doing that, and you're not setting the tone, the trend. But you do see people just chucking stuff out all the time. But you know, this time we gotta say Mother Nature wanted, you know, too, outside of the trash and our, you know, what we see every day. But Mother Nature just had to up on us with the extra rain in that little amount of time. I mean, what was it like? You know, in Milwaukee, 10 to 14 inches in like what, 6 hours or something like that, or something crazy. That's a lot of rain in a certain amount of time, a small amount of time. I'm sorry. I know we had a call and I was, you know. No,
you good. We can go to the caller.
Okay, yeah. We go back to the trash talk because I'm trash talk. We go back to the trash talk in a second.
We might have to call it a segment called Trash Talk for real.
For real.
Caller, welcome to WNOV 860 and Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. And assalamu alaikum to you, brothers.
Alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. You were speaking about the weather and how awesome it was. I was out in it, but I didn't get caught in it. I saw it actually, like, I saw people getting caught in it because I like responded to an notification after the fact, and I went to work actually, but work was canceled when I got there or after I went in. But I saw like places like off of East Capitol, I think the place is called the Outreach Clinic. Like there's a dip, then you go back up, and it was totally flooded. There was places all over the south side. All I knew is that you have to stay on high ground, and if you see an incline going down, if you can't see the line in the pavement, you probably shouldn't proceed. So it was really like dramatic. But I wanted to add to that is this, that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, before I say that, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that America would be visited by few plagues or plagues, and I'm not sure of the number. I think it was 4 plagues: rain, snow, hail, and earthquakes. We haven't gotten there yet, but they're on the horizon. And so, with the magnificent amount of water that we saw, it is confirmation or verification for myself when I saw it, and I heard how the thunder and lightning boomed, bam, and knocked the lights out. And I saw people wading in high amounts of water. And I saw people actually driving into high amounts of water. And I just was wondering why they would do that. But ultimately, what we have witnessed, because I've never experienced or seen anything on at this of this magnitude ever in my life. So it's the actual occurrence of what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said when he said that he will not speak and he will let God talk. And when we see the things that are taking place with regard to the weather, he also said to watch the weather. That has been what he has been stating before he hasn't spoken for a while. But if we go back to the information that he has presented, millions and millions of words that he's spoken with regard to what we are witnessing, then we should know the time and what must be done. So, Brother Bowen, question. I went to the tow lot because they have a vehicle of mine that doesn't have a battery in it, and the two front tires aren't filled with air, and it was parked and it was immobilized. It was not being used. It was not being used at all. And I went there, but and it is unregistered. I should say that as well. So I know that I have to register it. But what my ultimate contention is, if the car was not being used at all, doesn't have any tickets other than being unregistered, how is it that the DPW people who are trying to present themselves as great and awesome individuals, namely those people who work for parking enforcement, how is it that they could take someone's property and then expect you to give them money for something that was not being utilized, was not causing or contributing to any form of recklessness, but yet I still have to pay them to regain possession of my property? Do you understand where I'm coming from? And I know that what the answer is that no unregistered vehicles. I don't know if they should be parked, but it's parked in front of the home where I reside or whatnot, and it's in my name. My only problem is that I didn't register it because I thought, well, I wasn't using it, so why would they bother it? And they took both of my cars. I have one back, but the other one is still there, and it wasn't causing any problems. So. Just do you hear what I'm saying? And I'm not looking for no sympathy or anything like that. I'm looking for understanding. How is it? But now I have to repay them for something that I already owned, and I was using the parking permits and all of those things. And I tried to speak to the lady, Miss Tammy Smith, at the tow lot, and she's a black lady, and she was absolutely dismissive. Didn't even want to hear anything I had to say, and blew me off. And that was my experience with her. I probably spoke with her maybe within 5 to 20 seconds, maybe 30 at the most.
Got you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you calling in and your question around the city. I think what you want to do with this is a good example of how you engage your alderman or alderwoman's office to highlight your concern as well, so that they also can look into your situation. You never know until you ask, so see if they can make an exception in your situation. But yeah, that's definitely one of those. It's kind of a conundrum that you're dealing with. But I definitely hope that you can get some progress from your local alderman, alderwoman's office, so they can elevate the priority of your concern, and then see if they can work around some of the rules that are there. Just want to bring the conversation back to the flood response. Yep. And the things that people are dealing with. A lot of people lost power. A lot of people have flooded basements. I know some folks that like had to start pumping out the water as fast as it was coming in, just to try to prevent major flooding damage in their homes.
One of the craziest videos I seen was a 13th Street bridge over there off of was that like oh shoot, I want to misquote street. So it's south of National, but seeing that bridge and seeing the amount of water rushing over that bridge. My best friend stays on that side of town, so I'll take that route home sometime. And just thinking about going across that bridge at the very moment that water brushed through that bridge in itself looked like it could have caused some traumatic experience or death, but it looked like everybody was off the bridge, thank God. I know it's a lot of neighborhoods, a lot of families right there, a lot of houses right there, so it was nice to see that there was no casualties reported in that space too. I know you was mentioning and I know the meteorologist was calling this 1,000-year flood.
Yeah, I was going to say, break down some of the dynamics that you pulled up.
Yeah, so what they were saying with that, meaning the chance of this level of rainfall was happening is a 0.1%. So I was trying to figure out, was this like 1,000? Because it doesn't seem like it was something that could happen every 1,000 years. It seemed like something that, so it's saying it's a probability that it literally happens every once, is that it literally happens once every 1,000 years, not it happens every 1,000 years. In other words, it technically we can see it again in the next year. It's just extremely rare chance of a storm. So it was in the 0.1% space of floods or rainstorms that could happen. But I'm guessing that, like you said, it was because of the amount of rainfall. So we got these deep water tunnels, and I asked the questions, and I was wondering, was how much were the deep tunnels able to hold. I guess our system wasn't able to hold the the extra amount of rain we got. Flooding hit, as of course is we talking about the urban areas and a lot of infrastructures, and I know a lot of homes, and it was looking at some of these homes and areas in certain places across the city will have to be totally redone because of the amount of foundation damage that they do have. Of course, the soil saturation, and we was talking about that too. I was even looking out there in my area off of 47th Street, how one of the roads collapsed in. And again, that's just, complete erosion and saturation from, years of storms and then that amount of rain in that short amount of time. So I know FEMA yesterday, was that yesterday evening, Evers declared it to be a state of emergency. I think I've seen.
I think that's correct.
Yeah. So I know I had just pulled up some, how in the next portion, a lot of people are gonna be looking at how FEMA does, come in the mix, and we just had a few highlights for that. So the basics for everybody that's new to the FEMA game. If you didn't own a home last time or just not new to it, or what FEMA is, it is the Federal Emergency Management Agency responsible for coordinating disasters and responses. FEMA starts, people get involved. It's a formal request from the state. So Governor Evers did declare a request aid. Did declare it a emergency. And now Governor Evers has to do his assessing on his end. So he must request aid if the disaster overwhelms state and local resources. Some two types of declarations we do have, as far as emergency declarations, which can be issued before or just after a disaster to mobilize immediate resources. You have a presidential disaster declaration, which requires more thorough documentation and damage assessment, but unlocks federal funding for individuals, businesses, and infrastructure. This process can take up to days to weeks, so residents should be prepared for a waiting period. And I was thinking that was a big thing. And a lot of conversation was, a lot of people were thinking things were going to happen overnight with some of the things being done across the city, but it's like, are we still stuck in that microwave mindset that, don't forget that there has to be a point where, people have to come through the city, local officials assess areas and make sure what type of material, what type of equipment may be needed to remove whatever it is. I've seen things yesterday that was sitting out in Brown Deer, huge tree stumps that I know were pushed up from down by the river, and they were just being picked up yesterday evening. I went to National Night Out last night, and shout out to the city of Milwaukee. They were doing their thing out there too. During the middle of National Night Out, had the big hoist up, removing big pieces of wood. I don't know if they were cut and they fell, a tree fell or whatever, but things are getting done. It just takes time. We got we have manpower people. We need robots. And if you want to see things done quicker, you might want to start designing a robot. So real talk. So we got some calls coming in. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. You are on the line with Brian and David.
Oh, first of all, Brian,
Yes, sir.
thank you, sir, for being there.
Hey, good morning.
Now, who's that person sitting next to you?
Man, that's David Bowen, Executive Director.
Yes, sir. Hey, Mr. Dave,
Yes, sir.
you still there? For real like that? I'm just messing with you, sir. But thank you, David, for being there, young man. You're Alderman, right?
No. I am a former state rep.
Oh, former state rep.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon, Mr. David Borden. I thought you used to be an alderman. But yes, you're
I
right.
do get that a lot.
Yeah,
I do
know,
get
I
that a
know.
lot. They be like, "You're an alderman, right?" And I'm like, "No." It's all good though. It's all good though.
But are you doing okay, sir?
Not bad. Not bad. Hope you're well.
Okay.
Did you see anything happen with these floods?
I beg your pardon?
Did you see anything happen with these floods?
Oh, yes, sir.
What did you
Only thing I
see?
want to know, only thing I want to say, what happened so fast all over the place, and all over the place, especially in Milwaukee, because we had those floods over the streets back in the days and stuff like that. But when we have owners and stuff like that, and they have something like that happen to them with the flood in the basement and stuff like that, only thing I want to say, sometimes people don't have empathy or concerning or care. But they happen real fast, caught everybody by surprise, because it did happen fast like that. I hear people call it in and say, "How come we wasn't warned?" Because it happened fast like that. I'm not trying to take up for a white man or something like that, but understand this, Mr. David Bowen, it did happen fast. It happened to everybody. And
How do you feel about the response from city services, county services?
I think they did. I think they did the best they could under the circumstances.
Sure.
I think they did it because it happened so quick. It happened so quick. Because when you respond when something happens like that, you just do the best you can when it happens like that. And when it happens like that, people they respond. It's the best they can do. Especially when Donald Trump took away our, whatever the people was there anyway to call for response and stuff. I'm not going to put this on Donald Trump, but come on now. But Donald Trump he was in there like that. Him and that other person, Elon Musk, trying to take away everything for letting people know what's going down. But it happened so fast. The rain happened so fast. It just happened like that. I think the response was respectful, and they did the best they could.
Got you.
So, okay, got me on that tip. I think they did the best they could, and thank for that. But people that lost, they lost. Things. I used to be a homeowner back in the days when you had that water coming in your basement, a house like that, and you lose everything. Only thing you need to know is, do you have the right insurance? Go there, right? Not trying to be scientific and all that kind of stuff. But come on now, when it happens, it hurts. It hurts. People lost. They lost. They lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So anyway, sir, what's your opinion about that?
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much for your call, and we really appreciate you sharing your insight. That's a really good perspective because, even trying to respond when something like this happens, you can, no matter what department or preparation that you have, you can only respond so quickly with the same amount of demand to be able to respond to it all over the city or all over the county at the same time. So really appreciate the brother calling in and sharing that.
Absolutely. So what we're gonna do is real quick, we're gonna take a break, come back. Thank y'all for calling in. We'll be right back with y'all callers, so do not hang up. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices with Brian Sanders and David Bowen. See y'all in a second. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices, here with Bryan Sanders, community outreach organizer for Wisconsin Voices, with Mr. David Bowen, the executive director for Wisconsin Voices, tapping in with y'all. Before we get up out of the callers, thank y'all for holding on. We'll be right with y'all. I'm just going to knock out a couple resources. Now I got some resources from Revitalize Milwaukee, and they were just saying some resources for homeowners as it relates to your flooding. So if you're a Milwaukee resident dealing with flood affected properties, you got a local media assistance. You already know, call 211. We got American Red Cross. They're offering emergency shelter, meals, supplies, emotional support and recovery casework. The Salvation Army is providing media support such as shelter, food, emergency payments, and vouchers for essentials. You got cleanup and storage help, free junk removal. Power Moves Relocation LLC is offering free removal of 2 large items per household. You got waived dropped off fees. The city of Milwaukee, I know you've seen that as well, is drop offs is definitely waiving drop off fees over there. I like that as well. So shout out to the city of Milwaukee for waiving those fees. U-Haul is also offering free storage. New rentals, self-storage, or U-Box containers at select Milwaukee areas are free for 30 days. You also have financial and housing assistance through federal aid, FEMA, and SBA, which we already talked about. So we'll see how that goes. This is just a few of the ones I got. And I got a few more that I can definitely tap in with you. If you don't have them, reach out to me at Bryan at Wisconsin Voices, Bryan at WisconsinVoices.org, and I can send over this list I have to you. Just shoot me an email, and I'll shoot you this list of options and resources needed for people in the community. And shout out to Mr. Dan Cross over at Revitalize MKE for sending this list over to me as well.
And let's make sure we get that posted on our social medias too.
Okay.
So people can see it. So that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of just wrapping up the conversation on the flooding. It was a hot topic for a reason. One, because it's making it harder for the folks in our community to be able to just sustain and maintain themselves. Now on top of dealing with flood water, backing up from the outside. We've seen some dynamics in the past where the whole sewer system would get backed up, and then people would get water that would back up into their homes that way.
Yeah.
A lot of the flooding that we see right now are from flood waters on the outside getting in people's homes. So MMSD has come a long way in their investments in expanding the capacity of our system. For the most part, I've heard that our system is built for the demand, even for what we saw in this flood. But some of the things malfunctioning and other dynamics getting away. Trash in this case is causing a malfunction. It's causing a drain that should be there to allow water to divert from that area. It gets backed up. I think I even saw a photo outside of WNOV where it was just like it was nothing but water right outside the steps.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times that happens from just the drains being blocked up. So I would encourage everybody, let's all do our part to make sure when these floods happen, when we get a lot of rain like this, that we're clearing the drains as much as possible, that we're also preventing trash from building up in our neighborhoods and our communities. It does nothing but more damage to our community. So let's give more effort on that. So we're not dealing with the same dynamics of making it harder on ourselves.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's all get out there and do what we can. I know a lot of people, like we were saying, was just going out and clearing drains in their neighborhood. So that was kind of cool seeing that outside of, the few heavy hitters that were doing it too. Do we want to go take these calls real quick? I know we got a couple being patient. Yeah, we got two on deck.
We can jump on.
All right, let's do it. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Good morning.
Good morning, fellas. This is Rick calling from Germany.
Hey, Rick, how you doing?
I just wanted to step behind the brother that came on and was talking about Elijah Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he was talking about the weather and the events occurring with the weather these days. I think he mentioned earthquakes coming at the end, and I would like to agree with him that the earthquakes are going to be quite frightening in the next 30 years. But the supernatural will save a greater remnant than NASA could ever imagine. I'm done, fellas.
All right, thanks for calling in. Appreciate that, Rick. Good hearing from you from Germany. We got one more call. Is it from Germany or somewhere else? Where you from, caller? Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices.
Hey, good afternoon to you, gentlemen.
Hey,
There was a caller that called in and he was talking about how his cars got towed or something like that. And he called the city lights in the city. They just blew him off down there. When you guys led him to the altar. The best place for the brother to go is to go to the city attorney downtown. Get your butt up and go on downtown to the city attorney's office, man, and set up an appointment, or they might see you. Go see the, try to get to see the head city attorney or somebody that work right with him. And a lot of times, once you state what you got going on, they understand what's happening. They'll call over there to their city, man, and make them release that thing or reduce the fine, whatever it is. Tell them what the case is, lay it out before them, and most of the time, the city attorney will do something for you. That's the real option. The alderman ain't gonna do what he gonna do. He ain't gonna do nothing. As far as this doggone flooding coming up, man, this flooding is nothing new. I remember one time it flooded and everybody claimed that their lights went on their refrigerator. They had to give out all the free food stamps. Remember them days? That's all a part of the deep tunnel. I remember the deep tunnel project. That was supposed to stop this flooding. You know, it's just dips in places, and you know, and then our little ravines that we got going through there, like the creek off of what is that, Congress. All of those things, man, play a great part in the flooding. So if they're not clean and properly taken care of, so the water can run freely, a lot of that stuff bags up, you know. And then we got a lot of dips and stuff in the streets, man. That's not really right. So this is nothing new. And one brother independent on Donald's mouth, it's gonna flood again. Get up under some of them bridges. You know, some of them bridges is deep. You get around 30th and Bird Line, you can't get through that, man. It's not hell and real good rain. So I just thought I would throw that in. The brother needs to get to the city attorney, and they'll probably help him. And I'm out.
thanks for that. Appreciate
Definitely.
it.
Thanks for that. You could turn us back down a little bit. But yeah, appreciate you saying that, because yeah, there's also solutions with the city attorney's office. Shouts out to Evan Koike, Milwaukee City of Milwaukee attorney over there.
Oh, all right. So okay, I thought we had one more on the call, so I think we good right now. All right, so I guess we can hop into some of the stuff going on locally. Whatever angle you want to go to first, I am with it. So,
okay. Yeah, as we look at some of the political happenings that are happening right now, there's a story out of Glendale. There was a
I must get you two. Did I get you two?
Misconduct. Yeah, there you go.
Cool. Yeah,
there's
appreciate it.
the misconduct allegation case with the city clerk.
Yeah.
Having to be voted to be removed from office. I think that's set for today or yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
And over $10,000 in just questionable purchases and you know, some things where it looks like the Glendale City Council will have to take some action because of some dynamics there.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too as well. I know I guess, you know, at first I know we were looking at it. I didn't know if it was, you know, the city of Glendale. I have to look at it again.
I know a Glendale in Arizona.
Yeah,
so I was
right.
like, okay, that's a local story.
Yeah. No, this is just, Glendale just taking action, you know, before things got even worse. And I do want to shout out to the city of Glendale for just, you know, being, you know, as, you know, proactive as they could be before, you know, things got severely worse. I was looking at another local organization here in Milwaukee that took a substantial hit. Looks like the last couple of years with millions of dollars being taken from them, and if checks and balances aren't covered, you know, or audits not done right, you know, you could lose out on a lot of money in a shorter period of time, which was like the other case. In this case, you know, Glendale did respond pretty quickly. I guess you know, the biggest thing with you just never know when you in these spaces what type of people or individuals, you know, if you get responsible. I've worked in some spaces in the past where I've seen, you know, people are, you know, get a little excited when they are responsible for a budget. So just make sure that you know, are you know, if you are working in a space of audit, man, just make sure you know, cross your T's, dot your I's, and make sure you watching from different angles when credit cards and things are in working into play. You just never know. So shout out to Glendale for being able to save some money and catch this person before anything got worse. What we got next? Looks like we got a race locally. Look like somebody else that hopped into the congressional race down in Racine, huh?
Yeah, the first congressional district is a district that Wisconsin Voices is paying attention to, and I see a new challenger, Mitchell Berman, Racine County Emergency Nurse with Veterans Affairs, announced that he is challenging Republican incumbent BRYAN Style in 2026. It looks like he's pushing back against Styles' vote for the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, citing custom Medicaid and food assistance. Says the working class needs stronger advocates in Congress.
Yeah, so I guess his background has been really community so far, huh? So he's been working. They say he's was in on suing the Raymond School District over alleged open meeting law violations.
Yep.
Okay. Faces fellow Democrat Randy Bryce in August 11, 2026 primary.
Right. So they're both on the Democratic side. Randy Bryce has been a name in southeastern Wisconsin politics for some time. After he took a race to, what was that at the time? Was that Senate at the time? That the Iron Stash was a thing.
I'm not really familiar with.
You remember
Randy Bryce so
okay.
much? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And then Randy Bryce did a number of things with the Democratic Party too. So.
Okay, so he's down in the Racine area.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's probably why.
So now we got a primary on the Democratic side.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's definitely a race that Wisconsin Voices is paying attention to down in the first congressional district. If that race were to, if that district were to flip from Republican to Democrat, that would definitely have a lot of national implications of the control of Congress. So that's a pretty important seat, and I believe it's ranked right now as the two most vulnerable races in Wisconsin on the congressional level.
Yeah, I see. It's looking like outcome confluence control of the House, huh? All right. Speaking of Rep. BRYAN Styles, looked like he said that despite all his contentious and sometimes chaotic town halls in Elkhorn last week, the GOP rep said he is reaffirmed commitment to holding his future events in person. They were showing some of the controversial town hall pictures and videos that grew big groups that drew big groups. So frustrated people voices they repeated loudly challenging Style on his issues like tariffs, healthcare, immigration, and Trump-backed budget bills. Styles emphasized that the vast majority of constituents sought dialogue, and he pledged not to be deterred by vocal minority. He believes in accountability. So he's being there in front of the people to take his hits. I guess being a stand-up person in that space. But looks like he has some challenges, or at least two people coming up to challenge him behind him. Have you seen a lot about this story with him and him staying strong?
I did see about his town hall.
Yeah.
And big shouts out to the folks in the first congressional district that showed up and had their voices heard at his town hall. That went national because a lot of Republicans in Congress right now are being told to avoid having in-person events.
Okay.
To not show pushback. But it's a I've seen both ways where, like, if you avoid it, maybe it'll go away, or if you avoid it, sometimes you just grow the opposition even more. So it does say something that if you're willing, knowing that the One Big Beautiful Bill, HR1 was unpopular, and knowing that you get a lot of people that are pushing back against it, and still going out and hosting something,
Mhm.
I guess it shows a little bit of, you got something in you to be able to stand up to it. But then at the same time,
Yeah.
I don't think the concerns are getting any smaller with the latest action on that bill. That adds a significant amount to our nation's debt while cutting back on a lot of the resources and things that people need, especially when you talk about Medicaid cuts. So, and we talked about food assistance on the show before.
Yeah, I was just seeing another
Mhm.
another article about the food cuts and the impact again this week. So it's a constant conversation, and you know how quick these cuts are coming. I've been downstairs, even talked to some of the people that work in some of that spaces, and you know they said they haven't seen too much of a change yet, but you know they can tell it's starting to shift from the top a little bit. We got one more caller. Thank you for being patient. We're just getting started on a political conversation. Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Kathy. Young man said
Kathy.
he had some. Hey, how you guys doing? A young guy had mentioned something about people was sunk pumping people's basements out. Anybody have a number for that or the name of the people that were doing it?
Which one was it, Miss Kathy?
What are the resources that you shouted out?
Okay, you said one of the resources.
Yeah, he said somebody was helping pump the basements out.
Oh, you talking about the people that were doing the pumping for the basements?
Yeah, I know. I know different neighbors and people helping people. Anybody got a number?
Yeah, I can definitely see what's going on as far as the basement pumping. We've seen some people online. I know a couple of people were saying if you needed, things removed. But as far as the basement pumping, I could reach out to a couple of people and tap in with you, and then we can, if you want to get a number or get a number from somebody, and I can pass them on. Are you the one that needs the basement pumping?
No.
No.
Oh, well, go ahead.
My sister's basement.
Oh,
gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in Glendale. I don't want to give the address out at all, but hers being shifted right off the property. It was 6 months before when the Lincoln Creek a while back, but you can see right in there, everything fell in, bricks and everything. You can see all the water in there. And right on 25th in Village, a sewer drain popped open. I have a picture of it, and water just gushing out. And a lot of that water went down there. But people got to remember, they can't say it was a flood. They got to say it was sewer backup or sewer. They don't say, if it's worded a certain way, a lot of that stuff don't get fixed by your insurance. And don't depend on FEMA because Trump cut on our late services already.
Yeah, and with those cuts, you want to go through the process to still have your, even though that their resources are cut, still go through the process to apply.
Oh yes, no. Oh yeah, you can apply, but they haven't even put it out there yet for they to say they're declaring it. But
Gotcha.
No one came in with FEMA yet. But you got to watch it on your insurance because you got to get 2 or 3 different types of insurance. So don't say it was a flood. Make sure you be very careful and look at Ross report and what the city say. Do not say it was a flood. Okay. And
gotcha.
People got to be very, very careful with how they word that and take pictures. Don't just throw everything out.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're exactly right.
Sure. Can I get a number? Someone take my number down and call me?
The impact line is the one that you want to call. Impact is 211. So you could also have the operators there give you a list of resources directly as well.
You said somebody was on Facebook doing some stuff?
No, the impact line is 211. If you call 211, they should also give you a list of resources too. Thank you so much. We got to go to commercial because we're getting there. So thank you so much. Brian, anything you want to just highlight when you go back to highlighting those resources?
The person I could just figure out who it was if she want me to tap into them, but it's going to be kind of hard to hunt them down when they out here pumping across the city. But call 211 and then I can just reach out to anybody else
and your email. We'll share your email again before the end of the show.
All right, go ahead and go to break. Thank you, Miss Kathy, for calling in. Be Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. We'll be back with Brian and David in a second. All right, y'all. Welcome back for the last break. Thank y'all for being patient and just tapping in with David and I today on Be a Voice Radio.
Yeah, we got a good amount of calls today.
Yeah. Look, they wanted to hear you. Look, Mr. David Bowen. Respectfully, Mr. David Bowen. No. So, you like going out to DC, don't you?
Yeah, DC's a good
you hesitated a little bit right
good
there.
space.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a different feel. Let me say this. I'm used to DC when Obama was president.
Right,
I'm gonna
right.
say that.
Yeah.
That DC was,
Yeah.
that was a way different feel.
Yeah, I even had fun. Yeah, I went out there my first time, and this is bad because, well, my best friend and my brother, he lived out there for years, and he was trying to get me out there, and I was like, man, I'm trying, man. The money kind of crazy, but I didn't get to experience it until 2016, the last little time underneath the Obama's presidency. And I coincidentally went out there the weekend when he had that party on the East Wing or West Wing, wherever he had the party at, and the music was bumping. I was like, okay, this was the best time. I went for Howard Homecoming. It was like a great experience.
I was gonna say I misspoke. I went before Obama was president for Howard Homecoming. So that was my
first time going, man. That DC felt great. And then I went underneath of course, the Trump administration. After that, for a little bit, I hung out there. Then I went underneath the Biden administration. So you get a different energy. I asked people.
It is always a different energy based on who's in the White House. Yeah.
So I guess we're saying all that to say is that there's been a federal takeover over the police, as you've seen, and I know we both was looking at this, and even this morning and yesterday morning, and then going into today, it's been some changes. So what we have, David, is looking like August 11th, President Trump invoked Section 740 from Home Rule Act to declare a public safety emergency, and assume control of Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. Yeah, that's the start of that.
And this is a executive move and action that normally isn't taken, but in this administration, this is what's now unnormal is now normal. So they've invoked this rule where you have a dynamic where DC isn't technically its own state. It's not its own jurisdiction. It is a pretty much a second arm of the federal government. So the dynamic there is different. There are many folks who have advocated for DC statehood so that they could be recognized separately. But DC it's a city, but it is very much in a different relationship with the federal government because of all of the federal services that are there and the federal dynamics that are there. So
yeah,
this is something that the White House actually gets a chance to do. They can control the local infrastructure, and in this case, we're talking about the police department. What's ironic, though, is that you have a debate over the effect of local crime rates and crime, even in federal standards and statistics, have been down. I think right here I see a 26% drop in 2025 alone.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it continues to go down. That's across the board, and murders and shootings and things of that nature. So violent crime is going lower in DC. But the White House and under Trump made a decision to control the DC Police Department in an attempt to, what they say, to address crime. So it's some interesting dynamics happening there. You definitely have Mayor Bowser, the current mayor of DC, pushing back in this in a unique way, trying to also sound diplomatic about it. But they do not want to let go of their local autonomy, to just allow the federal government to be able to control them to that degree. And you're also seeing some dynamics where they're building a new stadium for the Washington Commanders. I don't know if you saw that. They're building housing with it. They're doing some other things where they're trying to work as best as they can with the federal government, the White House. But this dynamic can't be good because you just don't want a lot of decisions being made from folks that are not close to the ground, close to how to operate with local residents. And you hope that this doesn't have any major negative effects, but I think they might not be able to avoid that with this move, unfortunately
Yeah, when you activate all these different groups, not only will you have the Metro Police Department, DC Metro in action over there, you have 800 National Guard troops deployed, about 100, 200 active at any given time, support law enforcement. And then you got the federal agencies. We know that is the home of all the federal agencies, whether you're talking about FBI, which would be active over there. You have ATF, the DEA, U.S. Park Police, Secret Service, and U.S. Marshals will begin extensive patrols, especially in tourist heavy areas. Due to coordination with DC police, though coordination with DC police remains unclear. So they really don't know. I guess DC police don't know what their real orders are now. I guess it's to keep doing what you've been doing, but also be mindful that you'll have, every other federal agency in the mix with your investigations now, which will, definitely change the dynamic. I know DC is really busy, and you do see everywhere you go. When I'm in DC, I see every agency. When I'm cutting the corner, you'll see agencies that you don't even think that are, I guess you want to say deputized, but it's a lot of or federalized agencies over there. So this will just increase, I guess, more more action on the streets within interactions within, pedestrians and everyday people that's walking up and down the street that may not even be involved in any different types of any crime or anything like that. So
yeah, and that can bode well. And we're seeing the threats also being extended where they're saying they will threaten to try to use the same action in other cities. So Chicago and New York and LA.
Definitely. New York was definitely up in the conversation. I'd seen Chicago was in conversation yesterday as well too.
But it's just odd that some of this kind of just looks like distractions because of how
everything else,
how bad other things are going with the administration right now. So unfortunately, another thing to add to the wall and see if it sticks. And we hope that I'm sure that they'll end up suing over this to have this worked out in courts and sorted out. But more complex dynamics.
As much due process we can see. So again, I thank you for coming through, David. Appreciate you again coming on here, coming on to the show. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back next week. Guests and more topics with Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. God bless y'all. Be safe and enjoy y'all day. Peace.